Hello, everyone. Welcome to another night of Bible basketball. Come on in. Let's play some b-ball. Let's play some Bible basketball where we shoot around with the Word of God, having a little fun as we learn more about the Word of God. And so we're going to be shooting around here in Matthew 18. We're going to be shooting around here in Matthew 18 as we also celebrating Black History Month. And so I'll be throwing in a few things concerning Black history from our Bibles. So come on, let's play some Bible basketball. We're going to give a few minutes for people to tune in. They still back there in the dressing room. So we're going to wait on them to come on in. All right. So our Bible basketball is Matthew 18. Hello, Mother Harris. How you doing today? Good evening to you. God bless you. We're gonna be in Matthew 18 starting out. We're gonna be in Matthew 18. So we're gonna give a few more of these players to come on out of that dressing room. And there come my cousin Shirley out of the dressing room. Good evening, cousin Shirley. God bless you. Out of the dressing room she come, and here come Muff, Annie Ruth, Boo, and all of them out of the dressing room. Hello, good evening to y'all down there in Florida. All right, let's see if any more people gonna pop up out of the dressing room right now. All right, so we're glad to have y'all. Like I said, we're gonna be starting out in Matthew 18. And Matthew 18 has some verses in it that I want to explain why Black Lives Matter. There's a parable that Jesus gave in Matthew 18 that explains why Black Lives Matter. First of all, we know that all lives matter, but then there's a reason why Black Lives Matter at a certain time. There's a time to all things, and this is the time. There's a time where Black Lives Matter. All right, we're going to check it out in this Matthew 18. So if everybody is ready, let's get ready to pull up our questions so we can head on down the court. Let's pull up our question. Here are our questions, and here we go. Matthew chapter 18. First question said, Jesus said, except you be converted and come as a little child, you shall not what? Except you should be converted. Hello to my wife, First Lady. There she is. She come out of the dressing room too. Jesus said, except you be converted and come as a little child, you shall not what? A, be answered. B, be great in the kingdom of heaven. C, be my disciple. Or D, enter into the kingdom of heaven. Jesus said, what about that? Unless you be converted and come as a little child, you shall not what? All right, that go the First Lady jumped up there first, and she said, enter into the kingdom of heaven. Down the court she goes, and she passes it to her cousin Shirley, said, unless you be converted, you enter into the kingdom of heaven. Are y'all in agreement with that? Is somebody going to steal a ball from them? Or what? Down the court they go with the ball. Somebody going to steal it? Or what? Except you be converted, you shall not enter. And they passed it to Muff. Down the court, Muff goes with the ball. Except you be converted, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Is that correct? Are we all in agreement? Where you at? All right, somebody gonna steal it as the seconds tick on the clock? Cousin Shirley said, y'all dunk it. Y'all dunk it. All right, the seconds are ticking on the clock. Except you be converted and come as a little child, y'all said you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Is that correct? That is correct. That is a dunk, a flying 360. That's what I'm talking about. All right, except you enter into the kingdom of heaven. You cannot enter in except you be converted and become as a little child, Jesus said. Hello to my brother Kenny just come into the room. All right, he's out of the dressing room ready to take off. So we got our first slam in. Except you be converted and come as a little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right, let's get ready for our next question and head on down the court. God bless you too, Kenny. All right. Jesus said it would be better for a man that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he would drown in the sea than he would. Jesus said it's better that a millstone be hanged around a neck and be drowned in the sea than you would. A, offend a little one that believes in Jesus. B, try to be great in the kingdom of heaven. C, think not of heaven. Or D, not pray for children. What did Jesus say? It was better for a man that a millstone hang by his neck and he would drown in the sea than what? A, offend the little one. B, try to be great. C, think nothing of heaven. D, not pray for children. All right. There go my brother Kenny. Jumped off and said, A, if he offend a little one, and he passed to cousin Shirley, would offend a little one. Down the court they go. There's the first lady. She took off first with a offend a little one. She passed to Kenny, and Kenny passed it to cousin Shirley. First lady is quick. There go Muff, and she passed it to Muff. Offend a little one. It's like we are all in agreement as the second tick. Is that correct? Jesus said, it's better for a man a millstone hang by his neck and he would drown in the sea than he offend a little one. And that is correct. Another slam dunk. Another flying slam dunk. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, let's head on down the court with the next question. Jesus said, it is better to enter into life halt or maimed than to do what? It is better to enter into life halt or maimed than to A, be healed, B, pluck out an eye, C, be cast into everlasting fire, or D, be whole. Jesus said it's better to enter the life halt or maimed than to what? Be healed, pluck out an eye, be cast into everlasting fire, or be whole. We're going to take off down the court on this one here first. We're going to take off down the court on this one here first, only. We're going to take off down the court. All right. Jesus said, it's better to enter life halt or maimed than to do what? And that go to first lady. Said, cast into everlasting fire. First lady said, cast into everlasting fire. And she passed it to my brother Kenny. My brother Kenny passed to cousin Shirley with cast in everlasting fire. Is Muff them going to steal it or they're going to take off in agreement and dunk it? What's going on is we got another unanimous flying 360 dunk on this one as the seconds are ticking on the clock. Seconds are ticking as cousin Shirley flying down the court, and there come Muff in for the alley hoop for another. Is that correct? That is correct. Be cast into everlasting fire. It's better to go into life halt or maimed. All right, another flying slam dunk alley hoop to Muff. That's the way we play it. That's the way we do it. All right, let's get ready. Head down the court with the next question. Next question says, the Son of Man came to save who? The Son of Man came to save who? A, the lost. B, the righteous. C, the Pharisees. Or D, the scribe. The Son of Man came to save who? The lost, the righteous, the Pharisees, or the scribe. All right, that go first lady. All right. Hey, Sister Vivian Whiteside. God bless you. There go my sister, Sister Vivian Whiteside. God bless you. She with Ashley. Ashley over her grandma's house. All right. God bless y'all. So First Lady said, take off. than to be lost. He came to save the lost. She passed it to my cousin Shirley, said Jesus came to save the lost. And she passed it to my brother Kenny, said Jesus came to save the lost. And he passed it to Muff. Muff said he came to pass the lost. And Muff passed it to my nurse Ashley and said Jesus came to save the lost. That is correct. Ashley and Sister Vivian, slam dunk. Slam dunk. Unanimous. Teamwork makes the dream work. He came to save the lost. All right, let's get ready to head on down the court with the next question. Jesus asked, if a man had 100 sheep, here come my part. This is the part what I like. Jesus asked, if a man had 100 sheep and one strayed, would he not do what? If the man had 100 sheep and one of them strayed, would he not A, stay with the 99, B, put a fence around the 99, C, hire shepherds, or D, leave the 99 to find the lost one? Would he not leave the 99 to find the lost one? What will he do? Jesus said, if a man had 100 sheep, would he not A, stay with the 99, B, put a fence around the 99, C, hire a shepherd, or D, lead the 99 to find the lost? All right, what would he do? There go the first lady, said here, lead the 99. She passed it to Cousin Shirley, said lead the 99. Cousin Shirley passed it to my brother Kenny, said leave the 99. Down the court they go, and there go Sister Vivian and Ashley, said leave the 99. Leave the 99. They passed it back to Cousin Shirley, leave the 99. All right, and find that one that lost. And here come Muff. Say, yeah, is that another slam dunk? That is correct. He'll leave the 99 and go find that one that is lost. That's a flying slam dunk. And that's why Black Lives Matter. Even though all 100 of them matter, but the reason why Black Lives Matter, because that black one, he's lost. He's lost right now in the midst of this systematic racism. And so he leaves the 99 and go after that one. And so that's what we mean when we say Black Lives Matter. That black one is lost, and we need to go and get him back into the fold. It don't mean that the other 99 don't matter, but right now we focus on that one that is lost. That black man is lost in the midst of this racism and in the midst of all of this going on. Profiling, police profiling, all of this that's going on. He's lost, and so we need to go get that one that's lost. All right, that's why Black Lives Matter. That black sheep is lost right now. We need to go get him. All right, so that is correct. He lead the 99. Let's head on down the court with the next question. Next question said, how many times did Peter suggest that he should forgive his brother? All right. This is a rough one here. How many times did Peter suggest? How many times did Peter suggest that he should forgive his brother? A, 7, B, 20, C, 3, or D, 70? I see what you're saying, Cousin Shirley, but I'm talking about lost here in America. No, we ain't lost, but here in America, we was taken from our native land to here, America. And so we are lost in the midst of all of this ugliness that's going on. So how many did Peter suggest to forgive? A, 7, B, 20, C, 3, D, 70. So, all right, who taking off? Oh, man, a lot of folks taking off down the court on this one here. Muff took off right away and said 7, and she passed it to First Lady with 7. And My cousin Shirley said something that ain't up there, 70 times 7. But the question was, how many did Peter say, not Jesus said? All right. And then here come Sister Vivian and Ashley, like my cousin. They talking about 70. All right. Y'all better be careful of that. Be careful. My cousin Shirley done changed it to 7. There go my brother Kenny with 7. I asked y'all what did Peter say, not what Jesus said. Oh man, 7. All right. First lady come back and stole that back. Said y'all better say 7. Is it 7? How many times did Peter say, should I forgive? Peter said 7. That's what Peter said, 7. Right, Peter. So that's a slam dunk with 7. All right. Peter asked Jesus, how many times should he forgive? Peter asked 7. That's what Peter said first. Remember, Peter said it before Jesus. All right. Let's head on down the court with the next question. How many times did Jesus say he should forgive? Now we got. How many times did Jesus say he should forgive? A, 7 times 7. B, 70 times 7. C, 90 times 7. Or D, 100 times 7. How many times did Jesus say? All right, let's head on down the court with that one now, y'all. How many times did Jesus say forgive? 7 times 7, 70 times 7, or 90 times 7, or 100 times 7. Who gonna take off down the court? And there go the first lady, took off right away and said 70 times 7, and she passed it to Brother Carlos. Good evening, Brother Carlos, with 70 times 7, and he passed to cousin Shirley. Cousin Shirley passed it to my cousin Muff. Muff passed it to my brother Kenny with 70 times 7. And there go my girl Ashley and Vivian, and they stole it and said 7 times 7. Back the other way they go with 7 times 7 as the clock is ticking. My girl Ashley done stole it. She said 7 times 7. She stole it from everybody. Go, Ashley, go. Is Ashley gonna get in there? First lady came back and stole it from Ashley and said, not today. And she passed it to her cousin Shirley. Is this a slam dunk? That is correct. 70 times 7. All right. Muff got in there. All right. That's a flying 360. Jesus said 70 times 7. Peter said only 7. Jesus went high and said 70 times 7. All right. All right. So give folks a chance. That's what we need to do here. All right. Let's get ready to head on down the court with the next question. He said, when the servant had no money to pay the king and begged for mercy, the king did what? When the servant had no money to pay the king and begged for mercy, the king A, had him thrown in prison. B, sold his house. C, sold his family. Or D, forgave the debt. What did the king do when the servant said he didn't have no money and he begged for mercy? The king did what? A, had him thrown in prison. B, sold his house. C, sold his family. Or D, forgave the debt. All right, who gonna take off down the court with this one here right away? All right, trying to see who taking off down the court. And there go the first lady with a D, and I didn't know what she means. She means forgave the debt. First lady said forgave the debt, and she passed it to cousin Shirley, forgave the debt. All right, forgave the debt, and they passed it to my brother Kenneth, said forgave the debt. And here come Ashley and Sister Vivian Whiteside said forgave the debt. All right, down the court they go with forgave the debt. Is somebody going to steal it? Or is that what we're going to go with? Is we going to go with that? Forgave the debt. We got some other folks going back and forth as them seconds tick on that clock. What did the servant who had no money and begged for mercy, what did the king do? Do y'all agree that he forgave his debt or what? Cousin Shirley said slam dunk. Is that a slam dunk? That is correct. He forgave the debt. Forgave the debt. Slam dunk from Ashley and Sister Vivian. All right. That's a good slam. He forgave his debt. And that's all about forgiveness. Because God forgave us. We ought to be willing to forgive others. All right. Because we are in debt to him. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. Next question said, how did the servant treat his fellow servant who owed him 100 pence? How did the servant treat his fellow servant who owed him 100 pence? A, he forgave the debt. B, he had him thrown in prison. C, he gave him a job. Or D, he gave him 100 pence. How did the servant treat his fellow servant who owed him 100 pence? A, he forgave the debt. B, he had him thrown in prison. C, he gave him a job. Or D, he gave him 100 pence. What did he do? Who gonna take off down the court? And here we go. Cousin Shirley said threw him in jail. She threw him in jail. Down the court would go with threw him in jail. And that go cousin First Lady said threw him in jail. She passed it to my brother Kenny, said threw him in jail. Had him thrown in prison. I know what you're talking about. Put him in jail. There go my girl Ashley Stolen said gave him a job. There you go. That's a good person. He gave him a job. But here come cousin Shirley, stole it back from Ashley, said throw him in prison. As they said they threw him in prison. What did the servant do to his fellow servant? And he said he threw him in prison as a second tick. Is that correct? B, threw him in prison. She determined, cousin Shirley determined, and that is correct. He threw him in prison. All right, First Lady was down there to help her out. Threw him in prison. Another flying 360 slam dunk. Here it is. The king had forgave his debt. Now he had a chance to do right about somebody else that owed him, and he threw him in prison. And that's what we got going on today. People, everybody, oh God. And then somebody owe them something, then they don't want to forgive. Better be careful. Better be careful. Let's move on down the court with the next question. Better be careful. All right. Working together, team. Next question said, when the king was told of this, he did what? What did the king do when they told him about this? A, forgave all debts. B, thought how the wise the servant was. B, or C, paid the man's debt for him. Or D, delivered the wicked servant to the tormentors. What did the king do when the king heard about what this man had did, the servant? A, forgave all debts. B, thought how wise the servant was. C, paid the man's debt for him. Or D, delivered the wicked servant to the tormentors. Who's going to take off down the court first? Yep, most people today is only for themselves, cousin Shirley. That is so true. So what did the king do, y'all? Did he forgive the debts? Thought the man was wise? Paid the man's debts? Or delivered the man to the tormentor? All right, there go cousin Shirley, took off down the court first and said he delivered him to the tormentors, and First Lady right there with her said delivered to the tormentors, and here come Ashley and Sister Vivian said deliver him to the tormentors, and then he passed it back to cousin Shirley. She's determined. He delivered to the tormentors, and she passed to my brother Kenny, said delivered to the tormentors, and is that correct? Is that correct? That is correct. He was delivered to the tormentors, right? That's why the Bible says, if you don't forgive, then our Father won't forgive you. So you better forgive men. You don't look at what they owe you. You don't look at what they did to you. Just forgive. It's a release of yourself. It's basically what he's saying to you, because God gonna hold you responsible. You don't forgive them, then God ain't gonna forgive you. So it ain't all of ways about whether they want forgiveness or not. You release yourself when you forgive them. Release the chains off yourself. All right. All right. So that's the end of that chapter there. Let's go over here to John chapter 7. Let's move over to John chapter 7. And John chapter 7 got a verse in there that I want to mention some things about to you. Jesus said something in that John chapter 7 that relates to what Dr. King said. So let's move on over here to John chapter 7. All right. As we head on down the court. Y'all got a slam on that one. So let's move on down the court to John chapter 7. Are we ready? Here we go for the second half. We're in the second half of the game. And here we go with John chapter 7. And our first question said, they sought to kill Jesus. Who in John chapter 7 sought to kill Jesus? A, his brothers. B, the Jews. C, the heathen. D, the Egyptians. Who in John 7 sought to kill Jesus? His brothers, the Jews, the heathen, or the Egyptians? Who gonna take off down the court with this in here? And they still huddled up. Time to take the ball out of bounds. And there go cousin Shirley with the Jews. Down the court she goes and she passes it to Muff with the Jews. Down the court they go. So the Jews were trying to kill him. Is we in agreement or what? They passed it to my brother Kenny. My brother Kenny said the Jews. And here come the first lady. She popping up off of YouTube with the Jews. And she passed to my brother Kenny. And then here come my girl Ashley Stolen and said his brothers tried to kill him. Ashley took off back the other way and said his brothers tried to kill Jesus. His own brothers tried to kill him. You want her to slam it with that? Couldn't Shirley slam it with that, his brothers? First lady stole it from Ashley and said, no, Ashley, it was the Jews. And there go Muff in for the slam. Is that correct? That is correct. It was the Jews. All right. It was the Jews. That's a flying 360. The Jews was out to kill Jesus. It was the Jews. All right. So let's head on down the court with the next question. Next question said, this feast was at hand. During this time period, what feast was at hand? What feast was at hand? Was it A, the Feast of the Trumpets, B, the Feast of the Tabernacles, C, the Year of Jubilee, D, the Passover? What feast was at hand at this time when they was trying to kill Jesus? It was the Jews. The Jews are his brethren, not his brother. There's a difference between brother and brethren. So they were his brethren, and they were trying to kill him. It was the Jews. All right. So what feast was at hand? Feast of the Trumpets, Feast of the Tabernacles, Year of Jubilee, or the Passover? Who's going to take off down the court first? And that go, Muff took off and said it was the Feast of Tabernacles. Down the court, she go with the Feast of Tabernacles, and she passed to cousin Shirley, said the Feast of Tabernacles, but my brother Kenneth stole it from them and said it was the Passover. And Ashley stole it from him and said it was the Year of Jubilee. And then here come the first lady and said it was the Feast of Tabernacles. We all over the place now. And here come cousin Shirley. She said the Feast of the Trumpets. Whoa. Feast of the Trumpets. A for trumpets, B for tabernacles, C for Jubilee, and D for Passover. Y'all sure? That go first lady come back again and stole and said it was the Feast of the Tabernacles. And oh man. And she passed it to cousin Muff for tabernacles, and they determined with them tabernacles And there go Cousin Shirley got with them on them tabernacles back and forth. Then here we go. Is that it? Tabernacle, and that is true. It was the feast of the tabernacles. Slam dunk. They got you on that one, Kenny. Feast of the tabernacles. All right. That's a good one. Slam dunk. All right. Let's head on down the court with the next one. It said they did not believe in Jesus and urged him to go to Judea for the feast. Who did not believe in Jesus and urged him to go to Judea for the feast? A, the Pharisees. B, his brothers. C, his disciples. D, Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea. Who did not believe in Jesus and asked him to go and urged him to go to Judea for the feast? The Pharisees, his brothers, his disciples, Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea. All right. Who didn't? Who's going to take it off down the court on this one? This one here, a little tricky. We're going to take off down the court on this one here. All right. All right. There go Cousin Shirley jumped up and said it was his brothers. And she passed it to Sister Vivian and Ashley with his brothers. And the first lady right in there, and she said brethren, right? That's what the Bible said, brethren. It's a little difference between brethren and brothers. So down the court, we go with brothers. We know what you mean. It was his brothers. All right, Cousin Shirley said brothers. So Vivian said brothers. Ashley said brothers. And Muff said brothers. Down the court, they go with brothers. What my brother Kenny said. What my brother Kenny said. He in agreement or what? Seconds ticking on the clock. We going with brothers. And the Bible actually said brethren. All right. But we know this here. It's just a game. It was his brethren. All right. But they didn't mention brethren. I know what you mean, First Lady. But they said brothers. So it's just seconds tick. Brothers is correct. And that means what the Bible said. This is probably new version or some revived version, but it was his brethren. So that's a flying 360 with his brothers. It was actually brethren. That's why it was the Jews. It was the Jews. They didn't believe in him, urged him to go because they wanted to kill him. It was his brethren. All right, flying 360. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. Let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. And he says, where did Jesus go to teach? Where did Jesus go to teach? A, in the marketplace. B, in the wilderness. C, in the temple. Or D, on the mountains. Where did Jesus go to teach? In the marketplace, in the wilderness, in the temple, or on the mountains? Who's going to take off down the court on this one here? Down the court, who's going to take off down the court on this one here? I'm waiting on them. Who's going to take off down the court on this one? They're still in the huddle. They still in the huddle. And out of the huddle, here they come with Cousin Shirley said he was in the temple. And she passed it to my brother Kenny with temple. All right, down the court they go with temple, and here come my girl Ashley and Sister Vivian stole it and went back the other way and said on the mountain, down the court they go with the mountain. They stole it and said it wasn't in no temple. He was on the mountain teaching. Down the court she go. All right, on the mountain as the seconds tick. All right, and there come Muff stole it from her. Muff stole it from Sister Vivian and Ash and went back the other way and said in the temple, and she passed it to my cousin Shirley with the temple, and there go the first lady coming there and say it was the temple. All right, is that correct? Is that correct with the temple? He was preaching. That is correct. It wasn't on the mountain. It was in the temple. All right. flying 360 with that temple. Way to slam it. He was preaching in the temple, in the church. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. He said, if any man speaks of himself, he seeks this. If any man speaks of himself, he seeks what? A, truth. B, righteousness. C, wisdom. Or D, his own glory. If any man speaks of himself, he seeks what? Truth, righteousness, wisdom, or his own glory. Who gonna take off down the court on this one here? There go the first lady, took off down with, he seeks his own glory. And she passed it to cousin Shirley. He seeks his own glory. And she passed it to Muff, his own glory, down the court. And then they passed it to my brother Kenny with his own glory. And a man speaks of himself, he's seeking his own glory. He's selfish. He's all about himself. We're going to get it as the seconds tick. Where my girl Ashley at? Is she in agreement? Or is she going to steal it? If any man speaks of himself, he seeks what? A, truth. B, righteousness. C, wisdom. D, his own glory. As the seconds tick, is that correct? And there go my girl Ashley. There you go. She stole it and went back the other way and say he seeks wisdom. There you go, Ashley. Ashley, go, Ashley, go with wisdom. There go cousin Shirley, stole it right back from Ashley. And is she gonna be able to slam it in time? Is she correct? That is correct. First lady and Muff got in there on it. That is correct. He seek his own glory. Flying 360. If any man speaks of himself, don't be around here exalting yourself. The Bible says, let another man praise you and not your own lips. Let another man praise you and not your own lips. All right, let's head on down the court with the next question. What did Jesus say the Jewish leaders did on the Sabbath day? What did Jesus say the Jewish leaders did on the Sabbath day? A, they work. B, they fast. C, they circumcise. D, they travel. What did Jesus say the Jewish leaders did on the Sabbath day? Work, fast, circumcise, or travel? Who gonna take off down the court on this one here? Who gonna take off down the court on this one here? What did the Jewish leaders do on the Sabbath day? All right. And there we go. Down the court they go. And Muff said they circumcised. Down the court, Muff goes with circumcised. Cousin Shirley. And first lady says circumcised. Muff says circumcised. Down the court they go with circumcised. Cousin Shirley stole it. She stole and said they work. They work on the Sabbath day. What did Jesus say? The Jewish leaders do what? They work on the Sabbath day. And here come Ashley and Sister Vivian said they fast on the. They're going back the other way. And then here come cousin Shirley stole it from her and said they circumcised on the Sabbath day. And she passed it to First Lady, who got back there and said, no, they circumcised on the Sabbath day. That's what the Jewish leaders do. They circumcise on the Sabbath day. Down the court she go with circumcised, and she is determined. Is somebody going to steal it? And she passed it to Muff, says circumcised. Are we all in agreement with circumcised? His cousin Shirley said she was thinking about the rescuing the animals. Yeah, that's over there in the other chapter. All right, so they circumcised. Is that correct? That is correct. The Jewish leaders, they circumcised on the Sabbath day. Wow, that's a mess. All right, that's a flying 360 on that one now. All right, way to get it. Way to get it. Let's head on down the court with the next question. Next question said Jesus asked if they were angry because he did this on the Sabbath. Jesus asked them, were they angry because he did what on the Sabbath? A, prayed. B, made a man whole, C, ate meat, or D, taught? Jesus asked them, were they angry because he did this on the Sabbath day? What did he do? Pray, made a man whole, ate meat, or taught? Who gonna take off down the court? Who gonna take off down the court? Hello, Betty Jean and Johnny. How y'all doing today? God bless you. We're in the second half and we're getting close to the end of the game. All right. My brother Kenneth took off down the court and said they made a man whole. Jesus made a man whole. And he asked, was y'all angry about that? And that go First Lady said, made a man whole. Down the court we going with made a man whole. Made a man whole. All right, First Lady is determined with made a man whole. And there go my girl Ashley stole it and going back the way and said, ain't y'all mad because he prayed. But then Muff stole it from Ashley and said, made a man whole. And she passed it to cousin Shirley, said, made a man whole. And passed to Betty Jean and Johnny, said, made a man whole. And is that correct? That is correct. They was mad because he made a man whole on the Sabbath day. Flying 360. Way to dunk it. All right, let's move on down the court with the next question. Jesus said there would be a time when they would seek him. And what? Jesus said there will be a time when they would seek him and A, and kill him, B, and find him, C, to worship him, D, and not find him. Jesus said there would be a time when they would seek him and what? Kill him, find him, worship him, or not find him. Who gonna take off down the court on this one here? Who gonna take off down the court? Jesus said they will seek him and what? Cousin Shirley said, kill him. They're gonna seek him. But First Lady said, Betty Jean said, worship him. Okay, then they'll seek him and worship him. Cousin Shirley said, seek him and kill him down the court. And then First Lady said they're going to seek him and not find him. Cousin Shirley said, kill him. And then Betty Jean stole it from her and said, worship him. Man, y'all all over the court on this one here. Wow. But First Lady come back again and said, find him, not find him. I mean, and Kenny, she passed it. My brother Kenny and said, not find him. And there goes Muff. They passed it to Muff, said, not find him. They're going to seek him and not find him. Down the court they go with not find him, and they are determined, Muff and the First Lady going back and forth. And is that correct? That is correct. They're going to seek him and not find him. That's what's going to, Jesus said over here in John 7. Not that they would kill him, they would seek him and not find him. That's what he said over here in John 7. All right, let's move on down the court with the next question. That was a flying 360 from Muff and the First Lady. All right. When Jesus said, out of the believer's belly shall flow rivers of living water, he was speaking what? When Jesus said, out of the believer's belly shall flow rivers of water, he was speaking what? First Lady said you'll find it in John 7 and 34. When Jesus said, out of the believer's belly shall flow rivers of living water, he was speaking of A, the Holy Spirit, B, a lie, C, about famine, D, to the 12 disciples only. When Jesus said, out of the believer's belly shall flow rivers of living water, he was speaking of what? A, the Holy Spirit, B, a lie, C, about the famine, D, to the 12 disciples only. And there go Cousin Shirley said right away he was speaking of the Spirit. And she passed it to Cousin Muff of the Spirit. Down the court they go. And here comes Sister Vivian and Ashley said, of the Spirit. And there go Betty Jean and Johnny said, of the Spirit. And there go First Lady said, of the Spirit. Down the court they go with of the Spirit. And First Lady passed it to my brother Kenny with of the Spirit. Man, back and forth, and they are determined. Is that correct? Out of the belly shall flow rivers of water. He was speaking of the Spirit, and that is correct. Jesus was speaking of the Spirit. Slam dunk. That's what I call a slam dunk. All right. Let's head on down the court with the next question. When the Pharisees asked the officers why they did not arrest Jesus, they answered what? When the Pharisees asked the officers why they did not arrest Jesus, they answered A, never a man spoke like this. B, the people prevented us. C, he hid from us. Or D, this thing is not holy or acceptable. What did the officers say when the Pharisee asked them why they didn't arrest Jesus? A, never a man spoke like this. B, the people prevented us. C, he hid from us. Or D, this thing not holy or acceptable. Who gonna head on down the court on this one here? There go cousin Shirley and First Lady said never a man spoke like this. Down the court they go with never a man. Down the court they go with never a man spoke like this. Who else gonna get in on that never a man? There goes Muff. Cousin Muff got in with never a man. And there go back to the, she passed it back to cousin Shirley, who passed it to Betty Jean, and Johnny said never a man spoke like this. And they passed it to my brother Kenny and said never a man. But here come my girl Ashley and said he hid from him. Ashley stole it and went down the court where he hid from him. But First Lady stole it back from Ashley and said, never a man spoke like this. And there come back Betty Jean and Johnny come back again and said, never a man. And is that correct? That is correct. They didn't arrest him because they said they ain't never heard nobody speak like that before. We speak with such a authority. All right. Slam dunk. Slam dunk. Way to go on that one. All right, let's head on down the court. Well, that's the last one. That's the last one. But I wanted to turn your attention to the one that I wanted to look at was John 7 and 24. That's the one I wanted to look at. Let's look at that one right quick. That's the one I wanted to talk about. John 7 and 24. Y'all see that there? He said, judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. The reason why I wanted to mention that one was because that's the same what Dr. King meant when he said, judge not according to color. Don't judge no man according to color. And that's what Jesus mean when he said, don't judge according to appearance. And Jesus said, but judge righteous judgment. And that's what Martin Luther King mean when he said, judge them according to their character, their moral character. Judge not according to the color of a man, but judge him by the content of his character. That's righteous judgment. You see how close Dr. King and Jesus was. That's what I just wanted to mention. That's my little Black history thing for you. How close Dr. King and Jesus was. He preached from the Bible. Jesus said, don't be judging by appearance. Don't be judging by color. We'll get messed up. Use righteous judgment. Like Dr. King said. Judge by the content of their character. All right. We thank you all for tuning in to another night of Bible basketball. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night as we continue on talking about prayer and how to enter into prayer. And then we're going to talk about the power of prayer. Last week we talked about how to enter into prayer. And then we're going to talk tomorrow about the power of prayer. All right. So y'all have a good evening. And as we always say, remember to keep God first. Keep God first in your life. All right. As we celebrate this Black history, keep God first. Remember what I said earlier? Black lives does matter because this black sheep is being put down. He's being racial profiled. He's being cast out. He's not being allowed to make the amount of money that he should be making, working jobs and ain't making nothing, getting taxed and everything. And so Jesus is going after that lost sheep, that black man, because he matters. At this point in time, he matters. Black lives matter. It don't mean the other 99 don't matter. But right now, Black Lives Matter. All right, y'all have a blessed day and keep God first. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my little Black History points. All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody.